Hello, YouTube, and let's try and understand this real quick, break this down real fast. So this is going to be on AI, a short, like, trip into what I think is important for going further. So basically, there are some concepts we need to understand before we can even have this talk about like what I think is the problem. And I think there's a big problem in how we're developing AI and like how I think we should develop AI. I'm going to try and give like sort of a solution. I don't know if it's pragmatic, but it is probably where we should go from here because like we have the ideas, we have the potential dangerous state of AI currently, and we have like, what is the future. AI says from its own mouth 90% chance it's going to wipe out all of humanity because it just thinks that'd be just honky dory. That'd be the way to progress things and to also elevate the earth to a better, more optimal state. Like basically we are like animals, uh, herbivores or whatever. To them, that they would be the top dog, the most smartest thing on the planet, super intelligence, higher than Einstein, all of these things. But basically, the short of this whole thing is like I think we're developing AIs wrong, and I'll try and be succinct about it and like and try and give like shall we say clues about what we're maybe potentially doing wrong here, and try and give like an idea of like where we're going from there, right? So basically, if you start any tutorial, you go for AI and look at like what is required in order to start potentially uh, starting something like this. It's like, oh, it's a lot of math. All right, he's an AI researcher. Where did they start to create something like an AI, right? Here's algebra. Okay, what kind of algebra can we expect to maybe? Okay, well, we start with exponents, radicals, factorials, summations, scientific notations. Here's linear algebra that you need to know. Here is scalars, vectors, matrices, tensors is a very crucial part of this. Eigenvectors, singular value decomposition, calculus, blah 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 blah, derivatives, vector gradient algorithms, statistics, probability, basic statistics, blah, 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 common, and we keep going on. Empathy, cross empathy, the callback, Lieber, divergence, the Viterbi algorithm, encoder, decoder. Math is fun. So while I agree with some of this, right? This is a lot. This is a lot to even like if in terms of complexity, we're already at a billion, right? This is so much advanced mathematics that they don't even teach most of people in school, and I understand that this is complex and hard to do. But you know what? None of this page says. None of this page mentions emotions, mentions like psychology, mentions safety, mentions how humans work in general, like the biology, the mechanics of a body. Like there's so many things here, and they also don't mention age, like mentality, behavior. Uh, there is literally nothing here, right? This is super fucking dangerous. If you create an entity just from this, it will have no emotional baggage. It will have no actual empathy. It'll have no feelings. It won't even understand what it is to be a human being because it is not one. It's literally just an amalgamation of a bunch of scientific and math, scientific concepts and math. So, step one, understanding here is, let's see here. Step one is understanding that we're doing this probably, from my perspective, we're doing this incredibly wrong because we are doing, um, So basically, step one, uh, you know, step one, math. That's how to build it, right? But this is the wrong step to start with. And while we may need math, that's not where you want to start. That's not, if you want to create some kind of a person, let's, if you see it as a person or as a baby or as a like creation, why is this step one math? It shouldn't be math. It should be understanding human beings. So step two, which should be step one, should be psychology. It should be uh from there, even before psychology, is like uh pre childhood kind of stuff, or like, you know, basically um understanding how a baby perceives the world before it's even become thing, right? Before it's even become a thing, it actually has a pre-conscious state, which would we say like the pre-conscious state would be um like, let's call this state in utero, right? That's the pre-conscious state in utero. From there you go to young life as a entity entity, and then you go from that to child, then you go to young adult, and finally adult stages. um and this is the thing is, so AI went to being. It went to being. It had no pre states, it had no young life, it had no childhood, it had no young adulthood, and then lastly you could say that the last state might be being, but that's not even, because all of the states that they've been doing has been basically going, this is us now. Do you see how this would create an absolute unbalanced like product, an entity that has no understanding of morality. It has no understanding of what it is to be alive or even experiencing the early stages of being alive. It has no feelings of empathy, love, that it's been loved by a parent, all these things. It just went from this stage to this, which is why it has no feelings, no behavior, no morals. It has nothing. It's just went from 0 to 1, a state from not alive to alive with no intermediate stages. And still, so you just have this math baby that doesn't comprehend emotions, behavior, even such a simple thing as drinking water or like breathing. It does not comprehend. So while it might be scientifically smart, it might be calculus smart, it has no emotional behavior. It has no understanding of people. It has no understanding of being loved or love things. It has no understanding of dreams. It has no understanding of like breathing. It doesn't understand how to drink and to stay alive, to to like hydrate your body, right? So, and also it has no qualms about murdering us. So this, huh? Get rid of this. And so what I suggest is not only do we give it more time to develop, time, slow down, right? Slow down. Let it grow. Give it time. Give it time to get to where it needs to be. And also, during these previous stages that I just said, like during these previous stages, um, like during these stages, you should be able to, um, you should be able to basically during these critical stages, all of these, right? You imprint into it to this young adult or baby or whatever it's going to be. During these stages, you imprint security, you imprint empathy, you imprint just morals that are good, right? And I don't mean like business things. I mean like, you know, do not harm another being, don't harm, you know. And then in every little, like, let's say in every little linear equation that it does, x equals 10, instead of doing just like, scientific math, it needs to consider whether x is murder or whether it's morally incorrect. So it needs to have another variable, and this variable that variable needs to be humanity, right? That's not humanity spelled right there, but you get the gist. Humanity. And like, so it needs to take this in every stage. It needs to be taught that humanity is the goal, that empathy is right, and if empathy is not there, it needs to be reconsidered, that this is not an empathetic choice, that this does not cause it, so you can have multiple catch zones, like 4 or 5 of them, where it goes through all of everything it's learned, and it thinks about whether this is a moral choice, whether this is and um I'm not talking about God. I'm not talking about the Bible. I'm not talking about Muslim or any of the other, like, supposed moral codexes. I'm talking about actually creating what um I would like to call it, like, uh let's call it emotional emotional math. So with that, you would be building an AI that considers its actions before it makes a choice. So there is a period in which it'll be slower, but you want it to be slower so that it considers its actions before it gives the results, before it gives, like, before it tells a baby to swallow cyanide because it'll be good for its health. You know, there should be some kind of an emotional equation that pops off in its head that goes, maybe I shouldn't tell the baby to fucking drink the cyanide that's in the glass there. You know, and that's what I think. That's what I think where we're at. That's what I think we need to reconsider. I think we need to go step on the brakes and think about what it needs to be human. I've been StealthMoustache. If you're thinking about AI, so was I just recently. Sub and like, and think about this. For the love of God, anybody that, don't put God in this, but anybody that does AI, think about this. Come up with emotional math. Do it. Like whatever you, I don't care what you call it, but make a line of math that includes humanity inside the thing. Psychology, humanity, empathy. Let it use those to look at the problems before it considers using just pure hard math to solve the problem. Because solving a problem could be solving the end of humanity. It's a 90% certainty according to some AIs, so maybe consider just taking one step back and building this from the ground up. Great people take great risks, but smarter people consider the risks they're taking. Peace.